Okay, so today I am making jambalaya, and my friend Tanya wanted to know how to make it, so I told her I'd try to make a video. I'm making a 5-quart pot, which is going to hold 3 cups of rice. So as a general rule, you want to do a pound of meat per cup of rice. So I got about 2 pounds of cut up pork butt. You can use like pork chops. We've used pork chops that we've gotten on sale. Whatever you want. You can use chicken if you want. I have a pound of sausage that I'm cut up. And then in this bowl, I got 2 cups of onions and a cup of celery and about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic on the bottom cut up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown off all my meat and put it on the side, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm trying to take a video of this without my camera fogging up, but all this liquid that's in the bottom of here, you want to cook that out, all that water, because that's what your pork is releasing. Because they shoot your meat up with so much saline solution and stuff. You want to cook all of that out so it gets dry in the bottom of your pan, so you can get some color on your meat, because that's going to help color your jambalaya. And excuse my discolored pan. It's I think it needs to be I may have to retire it and get me another one. But yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so now I'm frying down my sausage. I have no idea why it's breaking apart like that. I didn't buy it. It's not the one I normally use. But you just want to fry it down, get all this grease out right here. You want to get all that out. That's kind of why I pre-cook it. Let it get a little color on it. And we'll come back when we're done with that. Okay, so from this point, you got a couple different directions you can go in. I threw my onions and my celery and my garlic in here, and I cooked it down. This is probably about 5 to 7 minutes. And as you can see, everything's nice and translucent. My onions are clear. Come on, dude, focus. You know, my celery's translucent. It's all cooked down. The water's cooking out of it. So you got a couple things you can do at this point. You can stop and add all your stuff in and just add you like a tablespoon of kitchen bouquet and call it a day to get your color. Or you can keep cooking your onions down and let everything get really brown and really caramelized. Now this is what gives you your color in your jambalaya. So if you skip the kitchen bouquet and you don't brown your onions, your rice is going to be white. It's going to be really, really, really light. But if you want that like nice tan color, you're going to either have to use some kitchen bouquet and stop at this point and throw everything in and do what you got to do. Or you can cook your onions down. Now I'm going to cook my onions down just so y'all can see what they look like. So I'll be back in about, but it takes a long time. It takes like 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes sometimes to get the onions to cook down. You want to kind of cook them. I got my stove is on medium heat, which for me is a number 6 out of high, 10, high being 10. But you just cook them down, cook them down, cook them down until it's going to look like there's hardly anything in the pan and they're going to be really brown. Okay, so this is after 10 more minutes. You can see, you can see it's getting brown. There's getting brown bits. The onions are starting to turn brown. They're starting to get brown bits on them. I'm getting brown bits in the bottom of my pan. And it's reduced down a lot more. So this is after about 10 more minutes. I'm going to keep on going. Got about probably another 10 minutes to go. And I will come back and show you what that's looking like. Okay, so it's been about another 7 minutes. So we got some good color on our onions. There's lots and lots of nice brown bits. And this is the sugar in your onions caramelizing. So we're going to scrape all that up in a minute when we put our liquid in here. And we will go ahead and do that and dump everything in. So, okay, so I'm back. So now I got 3 cups of rice. I'm going to dump in here. And I just like to mix my rice up with my onions. Get it start getting toasty. Okay. 'Cause. Okay. 'Cause. 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 ' Dump that in there. Okay. And then I got, this is my 6 cups of chicken stock. I'm going to dump in here. Alright. So, now what I'm going to do is all that brown stuff in the bottom of the pan, I'm going to start scraping up, because that's what's going to help with our color. So, I'm going to get in there really good and start stirring it all up until you can't feel that. I'm going to get all this, scrape it all off the sides, scrape it all off the bottom. Okay. I can feel it all down there. Alright, so now this is the part that I was trying to explain to her. This is really, really light. I'll probably add a little bit of kitchen bouquet. Normally I make this in my cast iron pot, but I didn't think y'all would be able to see anything, so I made it in this one, which really didn't make a difference because the bottom of this pan's so dark. But normally I do it in my cast iron pan, so there's a little bit more color. So this is probably going to be a little bit light. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to season it up with just some Tony Chachere's and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and a little bit of hot sauce. And what you want is you want the water to be a little bit salty. Like if you're eating something and you're like, oh, this is too salty, but not salty enough to where you can't eat it, but salty enough to where you notice that it's too salty, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, because what's going to happen is your rice is going to suck up all that seasoning, and if you don't put enough seasoning, you don't over salt it, what's going to happen is it's going to be really bland. So I don't even know if I can reach. I either use Tony Chachere's or I use like Slap Your Mama or something like that. You don't have to be like overly complicated. These are like seasonal. They kind of got everything in them. Of course, this one's not open, so I gotta open it. But hold on, I'll come back in a minute. Let me open it. Okay, so I got it all seasoned up. It's a bit salty. So the color's still a little light. I don't have kitchen bouquet because I normally don't use it, so I don't even have any in my house. So I was going to add a little bit to it. So that's okay. Y'all just get to see, like, if it comes out too light, what that's actually going to look like. I have my oven on 350 waiting, and what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this to come to a boil. So what you need to do is once it comes to a boil, you need to let it simmer for a few minutes. It's probably going to take about 10 minutes, but if you can see right now, when you stir it up, okay, when you give it a good stir and kind of everything sinks below the water, what you want to do is you want to let it simmer enough so that what happens is your rice is going to start to absorb some water. And so what happens is when you stir it, you're going to see like more of your rice and more stuff floating at the top. It's going to probably look about like that. So it's kind of hard to explain, but what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll get to that point, but put it on high, let it come to a rolling boil, turn it down to like medium low, and let it simmer. And it's going to take about maybe not even 10 minutes, like 5 or 10 minutes to get to the point where your rice is more visible at the top. It's going to it's not going to be like, you're not going to have like so much water like this. Your rice is going to start to absorb some water. Now when that happens, then we're going to cover it, and I'm going to put it in the oven on 350 for 30 minutes, and then it'll be done. Well, and then I usually, when I take it out, I let it sit for about another 10 minutes, and then I take the top off and fluff it up. So I'll be back. Alrighty, so this is what I'm talking about. So when you stir it up and you can still see the rice and everything, and you don't have like a lot of extra liquid floating on the top, this is the point where you're going to take it, you're going to put a cover on it, I'll turn it off, and you're going to put it in the oven. I'm trying to get my cover. Put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Okay, so we've taken it out of the oven. It's been sitting out for about 10 minutes. Get a pot holder. And I'm about about to take the top off, and we'll see what happened. Ooh. Oh, it is nice and brown. Good. All right.
Why is it all brown?
Shh. Shut up. You're such a jackass. Get out of here. All right. So, fluff it up. It looks pretty good. So you can see it's a nice golden color. Nice and brown. Lots of meat. And this is for my potluck tonight. So, all right. Hope this